Good morning, children. Welcome to class 11th biology once again. I hope you all are safe and stay home. Children, in our previous videos, we were discussing about chapter 5, that is morphology of flowering plants. And in this chapter, we have discussed about root, stem and leaves. Now the next topic that we are going to start, that is flower or flower. Okay, so the flower, that is a reproductive unit in angiosperm. That is a reproductive unit in the angiosperm. Angiosperm, you know very well, that is a flowering plants. So in flowering plants, the sexual reproduction takes place. Why the sexual reproduction takes place in the angiosperm? Because the angiosperm have flower. Okay, and in the flower the two parts that is very important and play important role in the sexual reproduction, androecium and gynoecium. Okay, so before start the androecium and gynoecium, see about flower. A typical flower consists of four parts, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Okay, so the four parts that are found in the flower: calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Okay, calyx also known as the sepals, corolla also known as the petals, and androecium is stamen, and gynoecium that is pistil. Okay, clear? So these four parts are attached to the thalamus. Okay, thalamus, that is a basal part where these four parts are joined. Okay, children. Now the flower, that is of two types: bisexual flower and unisexual flower. Okay, bisexual, do you know what is bisexual? Bi means two, and sexual, that is the two sexual parts. Okay, so when a flower has both androecium and gynoecium, both the reproductive part in the same flower, it is called bisexual. Okay, androecium and gynoecium. Androecium, that is male reproductive organ, and gynoecium, that is female reproductive organ. So both are present in a single flower, and this flower is known as bisexual. Okay, next, that is unisexual. A unisexual flower having either stamen or pistil. Okay, either stamen or pistil, either male or either female part, and this is called unisexual flower. Okay, clear? Now if we see the symmetry of the flower, so the two type of symmetry that are found in the flower, that is radial and bilateral. Okay, see about this. The flower may be actinomorphic, that is radial symmetry, or zygomorphic, that is bilateral symmetry. Okay, this we have discussed in the previous chapter also. So flower that is symmetrical. Okay, they can divide into the two equal parts. So the two types of symmetry, that is radial and bilateral. Radial, do you know what is radial symmetrical? Radial, that is when the flower is cut into the two equal parts by any plane. So this is radial symmetry. And those flower, they can divide into the two equal halves in any plane. By one plane only. Okay, by one plane. So this is bilateral. So the radial symmetry, that is found in actinomorphic flower, and the bilateral symmetry that is found in zygomorphic flower. Okay, see the example, actinomorphic and zygomorphic. Actinomorphic, that is mustard, datura, chili. Okay, so the mustard, datura, chili, they show the actinomorphic, and zygomorphic, that is pea, gulmohar, bean. These are the zygomorphic flower. Okay, children, symmetry we have discussed here. Actinomorphic, they have the radial symmetry, and zygomorphic, they have the bilateral symmetrical. Okay, and some flower that also have the asymmetrical, that is they cannot be divided into the two equal halves by any vertical plane, so that is asymmetrical also. Okay, clear? Next, children, the flower that is also known as the hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous, based on the position of floral parts. Okay, these floral parts that we have discussed, that is calyx, corolla, stem and pistil. So based on the position of these floral parts, the flower can be divided into the hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. Okay, see the hypogynous first. Definition: the flower are described hypogynous where the calyx, corolla and androecium in respect of ovary on thalamus. Okay, in hypogynous, the gynoecium occupies the highest position. Okay, the gynoecium that have the highest position, and the ovary of such flower is called superior ovary. Okay, the flower that is hypogynous and the ovary that is superior. I'm showing a diagram picture in front of you. See this gynoecium, they have the highest position. Okay, so if they have the highest position, this is known as the hypogynous, and their ovary that is superior. Okay, so the first that we discussed. Now children, second, that is perigynous. Okay, in perigynous, the gynoecium is situated in the center and other parts of the flower are located on the rim of thalamus. Okay, so in perigynous, children, the gynoecium, the female reproductive part, is situated in the center. Okay, and the ovary of this type of flower is half inferior, that is seen in the rose, peach. Okay, see the picture. So basically in the center, perigynous, and the ovary that is known as the half superior. And the example of the perigynous, that is rose and peach. Okay, now last one, children, epigynous. In epigynous flower, children, the margin of the thalamus grow upward, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it. Okay, you can see in the diagram. So basically the stamen is completely covered the ovary, and the ovary is completely covered up by the stamen. So this type of flower that is known as the epigynous. Okay children, epigynous, and the ovary in the epigynous flower that is inferior. that we have seen in the cucumber and guava plant. So based on the floral parts, the flower that is of three types. Number one, hypogynous. Number two, perigynous. And number three, epigynous. Okay. In hypogynous flower, the gynoecium, they have the highest position. Okay. Highest position you can see there. Where in perigynous, the gynoecium lies in the center of the flower. Okay. And in epigynous, the gynoecium that is covered by the stamen. Okay. Clear about this? Any confusion? Now, next one, that is the parts of flower. The next one that we are taking there, the parts of flower. Next that we'll discuss, that is parts of flower. Okay. So the four parts we know already. The first, that is calyx, and this calyx is also known as the sepals. Okay. So basically the function of sepals, that is to protect the flower during bud condition. Okay children. So basically calyx help in the protection. Second, corolla. Corolla is also known as the petals, and petals, they have various colors. So the petals attract the pollinators. The pollinators attract by the petals or corolla, and this help in pollination. Okay. Third, that is androecium. Androecium is known as stamen or male reproductive part. They have the two parts, that is anther and filament. Okay. Androecium, that is a male reproductive part, that is consist of anther and filament. Anther, that is outer structure, upper structure, where the pollen grains are made. Okay. And filament, that is long cylinder part. Okay. I'm drawing a picture. By the use of, you can easily understand. So this is the filament and this is anther. Okay. In anther, the pollen grain that are made, okay, that are developed there. Clear? Next, that is the fourth part of the flower, is gynoecium. Gynoecium is the female reproductive part, and it is made up of one or more carpels. Okay. So basically the gynoecium, that is consist of three parts. Number one, stigma. Number two, style. And number three, ovary. Okay. Stigma, that is upper part. Stigma, that is upper part, where the pollen grains are lent, and through the style they reach to the ovary. Okay. Through the style they reach to the ovary, and in ovary the fertilization takes place. Okay. Clear about this? Now children, some terms that are important of this chapter, like apocarpus, syncarpus, placentation, and okay, these are very simple terms. These terms you can learn yourself. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you.